What Pussicat, also known as Lena Oueslati, does not want you to know. Lena Oueslati is a female from Tunisia. Most of you are primarily familiar with her because she used to play the game Sherwood Dungeon. The Sherwood Dungeon MMORPG is a unique indie massive multiplayer online role-playing game, bringing together a community of like-minded players from around the world. A true cross-platform MMO. Use your mobile or computer to log into the same world. Now back to what the video is really about. Pussicat, who is known as Lena Oueslati, was once known as just some regular Sherwood Dungeon player by most of the community. But what many people did not know is that she was involved in a huge pedophile network. There have been several videos of people exposing people from this pedo cult. This pedo cult went by abbreviations LS, KS, RFA, KOG and LV. Now most people know that Lena has been involved in this pedo cult. Some people are not aware because she is good at one thing, which is lying. Lena dated a guy who went by the name John Miller. On the game Sherwood Dungeon, John Miller was in his 20s. He was from a third world country, so that's how he got away with his crimes. You are probably asking, what crimes did he commit? 1. Asking a minor for nudes. You can be charged with a felony sex crime for asking a minor to send naked pictures, for arranging to hook up for sex, or merely for arranging to meet a minor after engaging in sexualized conversation. In many cases. 2. Being a part of a pedophile network and covering up for them. Guilty under the law of association. Citizens may be arrested for a crime committed by association. However, sufficient evidence must be found to prove their involvement in order to be prosecuted. In this particular case, there is proof. 3. Making inappropriate sexual references to minors, engaging sexual conversations with them, and grooming. Grooming is a method used by offenders that involves building trust with a child and the adults around a child, in an effort to gain access to and time alone with her, or him. In extreme cases, offenders may use threats and physical force to sexually assault or abuse a child, which is something Shadow KS did, who also happened to be a friend of Lena and John Miller. They were all in the same pedo cult. Some referred to it as a clan. Most people referred to it as a pedo cult since that's what it was. Shadow KS blackmailed a minor and got exposed for it. If you would like to see the backstory of that, check the link in the description. So how does this trace back to Pussicat, aka Lena Oueslati? Pussicat and John Miller dated years ago during their time in LS pedo cult. That pedo cult has tried merging with different clans and name hiding. However, because RTR clan were such masterminds at exposing, they always failed at that. The first time John Miller got exposed, it was because he engaged in pedophile servers where they were playing truth or dare games with a bunch of children, primarily 13 and 12-year-olds. What's shocking is that was not the only server this happened, as this was no coincidence. Almighty AK had a server as well where other players from the game in that server who went by the name Rookie, Rayman, Shadow KS, and some others. They were sharing porn links to a bunch of children. They were making disturbing comments and glorifying rapists and other pedophiles. They were discussing on how rape should be normalized and how pedophilia is completely normal. Truly sickening stuff. What's even more shocking is that Lena knew about it all along, as she dated John Miller. They shared accounts, or at least she shared her own account with him. John Miller would often use her account so he could try to manipulate victims from another perspective, as they would never expect anything bad to happen coming from Pussicat, aka Lena, who tried very hard to look innocent while she is clearly not. Not only is she guilty by law in most Western countries, at least also from a moral perspective. Innocent people don't end up dating pedophiles, sharing their accounts with pedophiles, and defending pedophiles. You could also ask why she has never condemned any of his sickening behavior. Instead, she would always defend him and downplay what he did, as she claimed there was nothing sexual going on, despite a lot of proof being out there and despite a lot of witnesses confirming that it really happened, and many victims that came forward with their story. Like Vanessa. Vanessa was underage when John Miller tried to get nudes from her. Not only did he do that from his own account, but he did that through Pussicat's account as well. Why do you think Pussicat never made her chat logs with Vanessa public? That's because it implicates her as well. Again, Pussicat aka Lena Oueslati shared her account with him as they had a relationship. Which makes anyone wonder, does she even have any dignity at all? There is no excuse for Lena, as she is an adult who simply chose to make the wrong decisions over and over again. The sad part is that several minors are now traumatized because of her boyfriend's sickening pedophile behavior. There are so many questions to ask that Lena always seems to avoid, which is already suspicious on its own. Why is Lena friends with a bunch of pedophiles? Why did she never condemn John Miller's sickening behavior? Why did she tell Vanessa to stay quiet about John Miller engaging sexually with her? Vanessa actually left the game, but she had one last message to say to Pussicat aka Lena Oueslati and John Miller. Thanks for watching this video. It is good to be aware of what's really happening, and things like this should not happen. People like Lena and John Miller should be in prison, so I'm asking anyone that is morally good should share this video as much as they can. It's time to end this.